The hell? Hello. Welcome back to Bark's Gaming Channel. Now, some of you might wonder about the game I'm playing since it's not Final Fantasy VII. It's actually by Atlas, as you can see from my screen. It's called Metal Saga. It is an RPG for the PlayStation 2, and a very creative one at that, as you'll see here during the opening sequence. As you can see, it promises to be a very unique game because the... Alright then, looks like I have controller problems again. Nope. Now, like I said, this is a very interesting game, both from its unique gameplay and from its art style. Even though it's PS2 era, it clearly doesn't have as much production money spent into it as, say, games like Final Fantasy VII, that many of the Final Fantasy games did. But yet, they managed to do something with it, this game, that they didn't in the other games, being that they made a completely unique entry into the series, into Japanese style RPGs. Now, I'm not going to put much effort into the name for a reason, because I'm going to show you another very unique feature for this game, as you're about to see. And here's the opening storyline. Now this is one of the most unique things about the game. Most early RPGs, they pretty much, if you didn't choose the right answer, they'd just hound you forever. You wouldn't even if you had the other option, it would just loop back, saying please reconsider, please reconsider, please reconsider. But this one actually does let you, as you will see here in a second, choose the boring path. And there you go. Something truly unique to this game is in the beginning, you can choose the boring path. Now, keep in mind the ability to choose alternate endings has been around since Nintendo. The first game that I can recall having an alternate ending was the first Dragon Quest, whereas if you got to the final boss and were just really tired of fighting enemies going through a dungeon and didn't really want to lose to him because you're on like 10 health, you could choose the alternate, which is to join his side. But that wasn't much of an alternate ending because the screen just turned red, if I remember right, and it just kind of blanked out. But then again, that game you also had a very limited inventory, so either you ended up carrying the herbs you needed to survive, or you ended up carrying torches so you could learn your way around the final dungeon, which wasn't lit. Either way, this makes this game, at least as far as I'm concerned, a very unique entry into the field, because right at the beginning you can choose the boring path, and then it teases you with what you didn't get to do. So that being said, let's start this game in earnest now. Well, here we are back to the beginning, or will be soon. For the purposes of this, I'll be starting completely from the beginning. This is going to be a mostly blind playthrough because it's been years since I last played any of it. And, to be honest, if I remember right, it is very disjointed game. And now we're starting this game for real. Now I am going to skip through most of the opening dialogue because, well, I just don't see much of a point in showing you the same thing twice. I'm just going to show you the difference after the start. This video is going to cover all the way up to the first boss battle. Now notice how I say that it's not a mini boss battle, like I did in Final Fantasy VII. Because whereas in Final Fantasy VII it was extremely hard to lose the first boss battle in the reactor, this one it is not so hard to do, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Now, one thing I should notice, in any game that's an RPG, it's almost always a good idea, before you buy any equipment, to explore and open things in the starting location, because as far as the purpose behind it, I don't know, but as far as what I was saying about exploring the opening area, is it's always a good idea to explore the opening area before you start purchasing equipment in a starting area. You just don't know what you're going to find, and you might end up with copies of equipment that will quickly be out of date or useless. Or for that matter, you can save yourself a lot of money. Now I know that there's a big metal in this area at least. Not sure where, but I'm pretty sure there's at least one. No, I guess not. I'll get into the function of things like repair kits later. But there's a great example of starting equipment. That's stuff I don't have to spend money that I could have spent on better equipment on later. Or even in the beginning. So that's always something to keep in mind in a starting area in any RPG. Always search if you can. Now I realize that some games like Elder Scroll, they do a pretty good job of discouraging you from going through and raiding the starting locations of homes and stuff like that, with stuff like stealing penalties and what have you. But, you know, I'm just using many of the older RPGs like this, Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy as an example. Stick-on armor is also a very unique feature of this game because it's a disposable armor. I won't say it's very good armor, because it isn't. It's horrible, but it's like a single. It'll only reduce damage from like one attack or so. Yes, Pokemon definitely started that trend of finding all the monsters and collecting data on them. I won't lie about that for a second. This game just kind of capitalized on it with their own version of the Doctor. Now, what this actually is, as you can see, is actually just a fast travel location. Before you had convenient fast travel, map-based fast travel locations, you had stuff like that. Or you had magic. Oh, there's a big medal. I'm sure I'll get something for that later, but right now, like I said, always explore. Looks like someone's trying to barricade it. I wonder if there's going to be a side story for that later. So there you go, the person you go to talk to if you want a party member revived. I kind of like the Frankenstein feel that they decided to give him, because it kind of makes you want to avoid dying. Whereas most games you just kind of pay a small fee and you're like, oh, back to life I go. Oh, I saw something back there, but maybe not. Just a doodad, I guess. Keep on exploring the town.